just to summarize the main terms. First of all, the plaintiffs, in this case the city and the redevelopment agency, will receive $1,350,000 in cash proceeds. To date, the plaintiffs have received a total of $325,000 from other defendants. The public parties previously received $200,000 from C.C. Rivington and $125,000 from Richard Olson and the local defendants. The plaintiffs will receive an additional $1,025,000 from the Milligan defendants, which includes a contribution on behalf of the Milligan parties from Chubb Insurance Company. Second notable term in the settlement agreement is that the Milligan parties agree to provide 88 public parking spaces in perpetuity on the subject property, consistent with commercially reasonable terms. And there is a detailed easement agreement that is attached to the settlement agreement that will be recorded on the land records and that will run with the land, which provides for the specific terms associated with the public parties' rights to the subject 88 public parking spaces. Notably, these 88 public parking spaces have a value totaling $1,936,000 based on the value set forth in the underlying land disposition agreement, as well as the liquidated damages clause that's set forth in the easement agreement. The easement agreement specifically provides that if the Milligan parties cease to provide the public parking spaces, which they have the right to do voluntarily, then the Milligan parties have agreed to pay a liquidated damages fee per public parking space in the amount of $22,000 per space. And that amount, that liquidated damages amount, will increase by 2% each year. So in year one, the cost per parking space is $22,000. If it was, for example, 5 years later, it would be $22,000 plus 10%. The 88 public parking spaces will be secured again by a parking facility easement and restrictive covenant agreement that will be recorded on the Norwalk land records and that will run with the land in perpetuity. The Milligan parties have agreed to additional terms concerning the public parking spaces, including that they cannot charge more for those public parking spaces than the Norwalk Parking Authority charges elsewhere in the city. Lastly, in any enforcement action or any other legal action resulting from any potential violation of the stipulation, including the easement agreement, the plaintiffs and the Milligan parties have agreed that an injunctive order enforcing the term or provision violated may enter against either party without an evidentiary hearing, as any such violation would cause irreparable harm to the public for which there is no adequate remedy at law. So we feel that the terms set forth within the settlement agreement, most importantly in the easement agreement that will be recorded on land records, provides appropriate protections for the subject public parking spaces.
You know, this is an opportunity now. We're so glad to get this behind us. It'll now help us move forward to make a vibrant and modern Wall Street, which has been a commitment of my administration from the very beginning. First things I started to do was to get Head of the Harbor South and POCO moving forward. Unfortunately, we had a stumbling block. But, you know, there were many times when people were trying to get us to walk away from this. But we never wavered. We kept moving forward. In spite of a lot of people criticizing us, we continued to move forward because we knew that we were right. This should send a very strong message to any current and future developers that when they enter into an agreement with the city of Norwalk, they will be held accountable. We will make sure that they live up to that agreement. If they don't, we will do what we have to do to bring that to make sure that they do.
I am happy, pleased that this is resolved. As my wife pointed out to me earlier today, what are you going to do with all your extra time? There's a lot of things around the house that need to get done. We are very pleased that it's been resolved, and we look forward to seeing the area progress with this behind us.